As Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, women belong in all places where decisions are being made. And with more than 500,000 elected offices across the United States, there are plenty of opportunities for women to make their powerful and vital voices heard. But you might be thinking, what do people in all of these offices actually do? So in case it's been a while since you sat in history class, here's a super quick refresher. The three branches of government are executive, legislative, and judicial. And each of these branches looks different at the national, state, and local levels. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the national or federal level first. The executive branch includes the president, who is responsible for implementing and enforcing the laws written by Congress. The legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate, which form the U.S. Congress. Congress has the sole authority to pass laws and declare war, the right to confirm or reject many presidential appointments, and the ability to evaluate our social, economic, or political system to improve them. Members of the judicial branch, who are appointed, not elected, make up the Supreme Court, which interprets the Constitution and laws. Okay, now let's move on to state government. State government institutions consist of entities like police departments, libraries, and schools. The executive branch is headed by a governor in each state, who is directly elected by the people, along with, in most states, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, and secretary of state, and more. States can organize in any way they want, so their structures can vary. State legislatures are made up of elected representatives and create legislation that becomes law. They also approve a state's budget, initiate tax legislation, and articles of impeachment, which ensures there is a system of checks and balances. State judicial branches are usually led by the state Supreme Court, which focuses on correcting errors made in lower courts and therefore holds no trials. The court is staffed either by appointment or election, depending on the state's constitution. And lastly, there are local governments, which generally include counties and municipalities, as well as special districts such as school districts or fire protection districts. Local governments are led by mayors, city councils, and other governing bodies. These positions are elected by the people, and their powers are granted from the state. Municipal governments, defined as cities, towns, boroughs, villages, and townships, look different across America. For example, the needs in San Francisco, a city with more than 800,000 residents, are very different than the needs of Watch Hill, Rhode Island, where they only have 154. Generally, they take responsibility for parks and recreation services, police and fire departments, housing services, emergency medical services, and much more. In all of these levels of government, we need the voices, ideas, experiences, and talents of amazing women to ensure we have a government of the people, by the people, for the people. If you find that you care about any of the topics discussed here, you are qualified to run for office.